What is going on, everybody? It's Jay, aka It's a News Story here, back with another Phantom Parade news video. And we're doing global stuff. YUTA is obviously announced. You guys can see it on the screen. He is a limited featured gacha unit, and he's coming tomorrow at 2 a.m. EST. You guys can translate it to your time, but for my time, YUTA will be dropping at 2 a.m. Now, in specific, I don't think I've had anybody ask me for my opinion if YUTA should be a summon or not. If you want my very surface level analysis, listen. If you have Zonji and Sukuna, technically good. You're technically fine. Even if you have like Yellow Toji and Sukuna, you'd be fine. The only thing is that YUTA's a hybrid unit, and I've been talking about the hybrid meta for as long as time can be at this point. And hybrid characters are kind of future-proof at the moment. Anything that has Jujutsu and Taijutsu attached to it, you can use it on currently any content in the game. The only content in the game that has a hybrid restriction is the imaginary realm, like the SP battle stuff, but you yourself have to inflict that hybrid nerf. No actual mainstay content in the game nerfs hybrid units. So you can use this guy on Jujutsu content, you can use this guy on Taijutsu content, and he will work just fine. Similar to how like all those green Nanami videos and like on stream, you know, I was doing Jujutsu content with Nanami, I was doing Taijutsu content with Nanami. So it did not matter. I still think he is a very valid unit, and overall, I just feel like the general player should just be focusing on summoning on the limiteds in this game anyway. And YUTA units have a very strong track record. So, all in all, I personally wouldn't ignore him, but like I said, I already established the criteria. You know what I'm saying? If you have Zonji and Sukuna, you're fine. Even if you have Toji and Sukuna, you're fine. But in all actuality, he is kind of like the all-in-one package at the moment. And up next, we have paid gachas. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, free-to-plays. I know. I know it sucks, but like, the paid players got to get their gachas, man. And we have the Recollection gacha. Now, I'm a little bitter about this one in specific because, as some of y'all know, I went like 400 pulls into Urame's banner, never got the rec bit. I got A2 on Urame, but not the rec bit, not even A0. So that leaves me a little bit bitter. I also don't have this rec bit. This rec bit dropped with like a Miwa Muda banner, so I didn't even decide to pull. I'm not pulling on that. That wasn't happening. There is some really good rec bits though. You have 0.2 Gojo's banner. You have the Anniversary Yuji and Toto rec bit, best Taijutsu rec bit in the game for Black Flash users. Sukuna's rec bit, amazing rec bit, even though it's like the actual part of it is mainly biased towards Ko, because obviously Sukuna's yellow. You can actually use this rec bit across almost every single color category for Jujutsu, just due to its crit second ability. Now, Obito's rec bit is also phenomenal for a niche amount of units, and even some mainstay units, even if it's not their best rec bit. Choso's banner rec bit is really, really good. Jogo's rec bit is phenomenal. Honestly, one of the best rec bits in the game in general, like without a shadow of a doubt. And then Kusakabe's rec bit, it's a really good one to have. I've recently uni-duped it to A5 myself, but that is also to assist myself with future floor 90 clears, because I hate floor 90, and any type of healing insurance I can take, I will take. And you know, season 3 Yuji's rec bit is also pretty cool. It's not like the greatest rec bit in the world, but I have used it and it's pretty decent. Then you have the character gacha. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I have seen way too many people assume that this is a selector. There is no word selector on here. Usually, when we have these selector gachas, it says selector, right? This is just a guaranteed character gacha. So, in the specifics, in the fine print, it says in this gacha, you're guaranteed to get at least one target SSR character. Now, when it says one target SSR character, I assume that target just means the characters that are on this image, right? It's a fair assumption. And you have Mei, Ino, Toji, Naobito, Megami, Jogo, Kusakabe, Loki cropped out. It's fine, I guess. Choso, and Urame. Now here's the thing. For a multi worth of paid cubes, it's kind of a gamble. Here's the reason why I say it's a gamble. Because you can either get some very meta-defying units, or you can get some units that are just cool to use, but if you have them at A0, you're probably not going to use them. Like, for example, if you pull like Mei, Ino, or Toji, you're not exactly shaking up like the entire, fabric of your box or anything. These are just cool additions, but they're not making or breaking your box. But if you pull Choso, if you pull Urame, if you pull Megami, if you pull Kusakabe, excellent, right? I would glaze an Aobito and Jogo, but I'm going to be like as very critical as I can and just be like, off of this surface level analysis, right? There is like 4 picks that you can get like flat out that are amazing, and the rest are just really nice additions to the box. But all in all, if you're like a low spender and you're like, yeah, I might buy some cube packs every once in a while, not too often, I only spend during celebrations, I would personally hold off on this and wait for like, the anniversary season where we actually get like the selectors and stuff. Those are like the really good paid banners. These are kind of like the throwaway paid banners where it's like, okay, like a pretty heavy spender can just get like 3,000 paid cubes, throw it on this, call it a day, keep it pushing. But you can still get something decent out of here. None of these units are on standard banner yet. Heavy emphasis on yet, because as y'all know, if you pay a good amount of attention to JP, about 4 of these units are going to be on standard banner. So Mei, Ino, Toji, Choso are going to be on standard banner. They low-key slimed out my boy Naobito. They're keeping him locked away. They know how goated mixed is in the current meta. They're trying to hijaw away from A5 greatness. But if you look at it from a certain perspective, you could get peak. And if you look at it from another perspective, you can get the other half of the units that are going to be in standard banner anyway in like 2 months. So if you're summoning on this, I only suggest you summon on it if you are a heavy spender. If you're a light spender, these banners are not worth whipping out the cubes on, in my personal opinion, especially when there's just so many options. And you could just whip out a multi and get Mei or something, or like, for example, here you can whip out a multi and get like A0 on like a rec bit that's not exactly too great. But this is one of those weird examples, because this one actually has some really valid rec bits. But like if you pull this one, like 0.2 Gojo's rec bit, and you don't have 0.2 Gojo, there's like almost no scenarios where I'll see where you'll use it outside of 0.2, except like the most recent score battle, I've used it on Miguel. But all in all, like, this one's really good. Naobito's really good. Jogo's very good. Like, I feel like the only ones that the average person wouldn't be able to make work 100% would be 0.2s, yellow Tojis, I believe, since there's like a lot of other options to fill in for a Taijutsu rec bit. Naobito's is pretty niche, but go with your heart, guys. Go with your heart. But I would say just focus your cubes on Yuta if you are summoning, okay? That is my personal take. And that is the finale for my little ramble. It's supposed to be a news video, but I guess I kind of got into it since the character summon stuff is very important. But if you made it to this point, thank you for watching. It's been Jay, aka It's Ghost Story. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord server. It's in the channel bio. Thank you for over 2,000 subscribers. And stay tuned, because we are less than 24 hours away from Yuta to drop, and I can see if my luck will redeem itself. We will see if it's another Yaga and Nanami situation. I hope it's not, because my Yuta luck is actually pretty nice. Yuta has not given me a big L from either of his previous releases, from Blue or Red. So hopefully we do well in less than 24 hours. So yeah, I will see you guys later.